had such a good effect that nobody does it anymore.
It would probably break a couple teeth and then a couple more, just kind of, I have figured out that I was wrong again. Let me show you how. Alrighty, so last thing we did was broke the transmission, engine went up on the rev limiter. So I'm going through just checking valve lash. I've already checked all my spring pressure because I want to make sure nothing happened in the valve train from the going on the rev limiter like that, because rev limiter is like 90, 95, so it goes up about 97, 9800 RPM, right around there or whatever. So everything's looking good so far. Valve lash is fine. Went through the spring pressure. Spring pressure's fine, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I wanted to change, let's see here. Well, nothing. I don't want to change anything. I just want to be able to go run it. So I'm just making sure everything's okay. But I have figured out that I was wrong again. Let me show you how. All right, so what somebody left me a comment on and pointed out was I was thinking about this incorrectly. So let me show you exactly what it was. So I bring up this status event right here, which I showed you earlier, and then I'm looking at it and I'm scrolling and I'm going, oh yeah, see, like right there. I was not reading the correct time down below. So as you can see here, it gives me the time, and because I didn't have the whole, well here, let me get this all back over here. Long story short, I made an assumption and it was the wrong assumption. So I'm looking at the status event here, and I was looking at the bottom and thinking I was reading the correct number. I was not. I still needed to read up here. So the time was wrong. It still had failures, which I need to go in and pre-program before we take off, the new one. But you can see here where it actually did fail was way out after. So you were absolutely correct. It was not the injector drivers causing the engine to misfire and go like this and paddle the tire, because right here is the actual correct time. So if we go right to 9, at 7:43 there was a problem, because now we're reading the correct time right here. And we go up, and now you can see the O2 is just going buck crazy all over the place here. And that's all in this entire 7.43, basically to 17.29 and beyond, and actually until I just shut the car off. So it was not the injector driver. You were absolutely correct. It was not the injector driver that caused the paddling. But I think that I actually do have it figured out, because I don't think the car was paddling on its own. I don't think it was a tire problem. Let's go over here and look at the transmission real quick. Alrighty, so I got the new transmission. I got two different things going on with the transmissions right now. So Rossler fixed both of them like fast. I was really happy about that. He already had my spare one. The spare transmission, which is over here, Turbo 400 from Rossler. Now, one thing, this one was the one that Clarky borrowed, and something happened to it, and it said it rolled a sprag. I believe that's what he said, it rolled a sprag. Anyway, about it, it was hurt, and it was kind of a common problem that can happen. So this one is all fixed. The one that's in the car, that's the one that broke during the pass. And what he told me was, he goes, I've actually never seen it, or he says, I'm sorry, he has seen it. He says, I haven't seen this in a really long time. He says, but it actually tore all the teeth off the planetary gears. He says, that's really rare. Second gear, I don't know. I'm not a transmission guy, so don't hold me to it. But I do know there's a drum and a planetary gears, but it tore the teeth off the planetary gears. And it's like, okay. And so that would make sense. That would be something that would not be 100% instantaneous, like you broke a input shaft. because it would probably break a couple teeth and then a couple more, just kind of, taking that amount of time. We could measure that, how long it just went. All right, so we'll measure that time to how much our time was on the computer. Let's take a look at that on the computer again, and I'll show you where it just felt funny, and I knew that something was going on. So here in the data log, if we just highlight the area that we are concerned about, we know that we had an injector driver problem here because it said so, and we can see it, but it was after the pass, after it had already broken transmission. So right through here, and it probably was doing it, something was wigging out and going crazy here. I have, my O2s were a little off, and so I don't know exactly what's going on there. I'm coming back and processing that whole thing too. We'll take a look at the O2 thing, but I'm trying to figure out what was going on here. And that was 1.5 to 2.2. So that is less than 1 second of, so that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. That's about the right amount of time. I felt it, heard it. It was making, and I think it was making the tire shake, because now I'm thinking that, yeah, it was tearing the teeth off the planetary and going chunk, 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 wing, and spun them all off. So I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, that is what we're seeing and what I'm at. Now what I had them do then, he said, boy, that was a 210 transmission that I broke. And it had a lot of time on it, so it didn't owe me anything, because that had 3 drag and drive events, had probably 50 plus passes on it in the drag and drive events, so there's a lot going on there. That transmission didn't owe me anything. What I also wanted to do was I wanted to go to see what other gear ratios he had. So I currently have 190, 141, 10 on both transmissions. Both transmissions are the same, because the one that Clarky borrowed that got hurt was a 197, 135, I think. And now they're both 190, 141s. That's their Supermax gear set. Says super strong. Anything can break, is what it is, but it shouldn't have any problems with it. And that's it. You guys pointed out my error in my ways. I'm wrong. You'd be amazed at how many times I'm wrong, or do something dumb. It's all fixed now. I did take the converter 100% apart, cleaned it, put it all back together. I did take the cooler off of the car, cleaned that out 100%, cleaned out all the lines. So cleaned out everything in the entire oil system on the transmission. And so we are ready to go. So we are getting ready to load up. Kyle is going to be loading up today, right? As far as you know, yep.
As far as I know.
So Kyle's going to be loading up today. I'm going to be loading up today, and we're going to go do the Fast Street Car reunion over in Cordoba this weekend. It's going to be a really cool show. So here's a little link to it. Make sure you go over there and look at that. Come visit with us. Just going to be me and Kyle and Nate there. My wife can't make it. Makes me really sad, but that's all right. She got other things she got to do. Come see us, and I'm more than happy to talk to you and all that other good stuff. And hopefully, Lord willing, we're going to make some good passes and do well. My goal is to beat Bryant. So now I'm gonna put this thing all back together, put transmission fluid in it, check transmission fluid, warm it up, put it on 2-step, do a 2-step check. Hang on. now that is the way a nice two-step should look. Comes up on a three-step. Then he hits and meets the target boost number right here. And then it comes down on a two-step RPM and continues just maintain that boost number. Looking sweet. And then somewhere in here, you let go of the button and it goes down the track fast, hopefully. Like really fast, hopefully. Lord willing. So that's what I'd like to see there. Like nice. It's a little, I've changed the stator in this car. I've made a tighter stator. So it's a little tighter right there. We might end up having to change the stator later. Yeah, see? But that looks real good. So I've been playing with it. Getting my O2 right and the fuel, just trying to get the fuel right. So I'll get this cleaned up a little bit more. And we're ready to go. So let's get this thing on the ground and start loading up. But first, let's go talk some questions. Okay, so it's been a little bit since we did questions. So doing some questions on the twin supercharger versus single supercharger versus no supercharger in this video right here. So if you haven't seen this video, you probably don't know what we're talking about. So go back and watch that. It's short, it's quick, easy. And go back and you can see what we're talking about, where we actually do the tune on twin superchargers run in parallel, not compound, and then take the one charger off, see exactly what it did, no change in tune, anything, and then take both blowers off and see what it does. So anyways, you guys had good comments, good questions, so let's read a couple of them here.
Does having two blowers balance the crankshaft as you are pulling from both sides of the crank?
Kyle son.
Oh, I'm taking it first?
Yes.
Not really, because ultimately it's still trying to pull the balancer. Oh. Maybe it's not trying to pull it like 45 degrees to the side towards the tensioner or towards the blower, but it's definitely still trying to pull it up.
It has nothing to do with balancing the crankshaft at all. It's just would be load.
I think you're talking about balancing.
how it's loading, how the balanced load, not balancing.
Okay. I guess resultant force would be up. If you got one belt 45 degrees this way, tension 45 degrees that way, resultant force would be upwards. I wouldn't call it balancing it.
Maybe changing it, but any kind of belt-driven supercharger, it's gonna pull on the crankshaft regardless. Unless you go to a gear drive, then it's just trying to twist it. I think that basically answers that question.
I agree.
Especially in the 80s, it was a big thing to run a turbo feeding a roots blower. Never seen or ever hear anything about that happening now. Is it obsolete?
Kyle son?
Yeah, I think it is kind of obsolete now. I mean, blower technology has come a long way since the 80s. Like when they were doing it in the 80s, they were supplementing for something. I don't know. I wasn't around back then. He could tell you.
I was like 10.
Gail
So-
Banks was there messing with around
Gil
with
Banks,
them,
yeah,
Gil
he
Banks
was
and-
doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd say clearly not because no one's doing it anymore. And
It had
it's just
such
not
a-
efficient.
Yes, it had such a good effect that nobody does it anymore.
It worked so well that
That
everyone
nobody
said,
does it.
This is too good for us.
It's too good. We can't do this anymore. So obviously the answer is, and it's in a positive displacement blower. So at the very best, it would be very minimal and probably be a negative because it probably takes more back pressure in the engine than the benefit of having no vacuum up on top of the positive. So it'd be like having unlimited, the biggest, because you can't blow through a positive displacement charger, right? You can't blow through it. So the only thing you can do is try to keep it from having any vacuum up there. So i.e. like create big throttle bodies. So imagine the unlimited throttle body, that's basically the best you could get because it can't blow through it.
Can you explain why you can't blow through it?
Because it's positive displacement, which means if it turns, it moves air down, and air can't be forced back up, and air can't be forced through it, unless it's turning.
Right, but I think the goal when they're doing that is they're stacking the atmosphere. So
Well,
you think about it like a fuel pump or whatever. You're stacking pressure on top of that.
minimal. I think it's minimal, if anything. It still only moves.
If it worked, it probably means that the blower wasn't working properly. You were
Right.
actually able to charge pressure
Yes.
through the.
If you could charge pressure to it. So like a 3.0 liter charger in positive displacement means that it moves 3.0 liters of air per revolution. That's uncorked, unlimited. So how is it going to move more air if you put air on top of it? It still can only move that amount of air because of the space in between the rotors.
If anything, it might cause more turbulence because you're trying to.
It could cause
pressurize-
turbulence, but I think at best case scenario, it was really minimal. That's probably why nobody does it anymore.
Yeah. There is something to that though, because maybe not in that application, but anytime that you're stacking an atmosphere, you're making that pump more efficient.
You can make it efficient, more efficient, but it's a minimal efficiency gain because it still turns and still can only move X amount of air per revolution.
Yeah, hence why they don't do that anymore.
Hence why they don't do it.
Or when people do it, it's just to be cool.
Just to look silly. Yeah. It's cool if you're doing it, but you know.
And then on a similar topic, this guy said they do compound turbos. What about compound superchargers? He was talking about torque storm, so centrifugal.
Oh, stacking centrifugal superchargers.
That's a
the
good
smaller
question.
one for feeding.
Yeah.
Well, does the same principle apply? Well, no, because it's like a turbo, so it'd be essentially just like stacking turbos, right? If you had a small turbo feeding a larger turbo, if you were able to control the speed of the blower,
Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that though, because the compound turbo setup, they're doing things with the exhaust side as well to make that all happen. So
Right.
if it was a compound supercharger, there is no exhaust side.
you're spinning it as fast as it doesn't. It's belt driven. You're probably not doing anything.
Yeah, I think ultimately it probably wouldn't do it.
The second blower would just restrict anything that the first one's trying to do, and you just have parasitic drag on the engine, right?
They made it to the right answer. So, and in my opinion, so it happens on why you don't compound. If you did compound centrifugals, which I don't think it's actually practical to do, because regardless, the number one turbo would have astronomically high parasitic drive loss. So the more air a centrifugal belt driven moves, the more horsepower it takes to drive it. Period. Okay. So if you probably would, if it was able to work, maybe you could do it blowing a bigger one into a smaller one, and which would help the smaller one have less parasitic loss. But I think it would probably still drive up. I don't know anybody that does it.
And half the reason people do compound turbos is because they want it to spool good. Well, there is
Yeah.
no spool on
There is no
centrifugal supercharger.
Yeah, and a turbo will speed up another turbo without having a loss involved. It has pumping losses, minimal, but there's a lot of loss going on in centrifugals that are belt driven. That belt and that because it's the way the blades are made on the impeller and how big it is. It takes lots and lots of horsepower to drive that type of blower. So I think it doesn't really work. It's a good question though. They're all good questions.
Last one is there any reason why SM oil should not be used in a daily driven street vehicle?
No,
Go watch the video one right up here. Talk about it. Talk about the questions and answers on that. In a daily, yes, you can if your daily street driven vehicle is this, or well, even this, or that. If your daily street vehicle is a stock LS, anything with a DOD, anything with a hydraulic roller lifter, Probably not, because it doesn't let the lifter operate correctly. Does the engine itself care? Absolutely not. It loves any engine loves quality oil. Period. That doesn't matter. But it's making valve train and DOD and lifters and all that stuff work.
There's very specific ways that the manufacturers want to use for your VVT actuators, the solenoids, DOD if it has that. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So just put
with the
the oil that the manufacturer recommends in it.
Unless it's a race car, and then put SM oil in.
Yep, exactly.
Have you thought about making SM oil on a 1030?
No.
We're only making it for really fast street cars.
Not really.
I'd put it in everything I had. If there was,
There's a lot of people that would do that.
They Driven
30 off.
because our oil is made by Driven. Driven has very good oils already in that market. They have a really good oil that we are already using. We just talked with Driven, talked with engineer Bill, and made something even better for methanol, gasoline, drag and drive, endurance, high horsepower, very high horsepower, that needs a 60 weight but needs the flow, cold flow, at 25.
Makes
Got it.
sense.
Makes sense.
I still want to put it in my car.
Go ahead, put it in your GTO.
It's a hydraulic can, but I
Let's see what it does.
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll
Let's
be
see
totally fine.
Let's see what it does. So that's all we got for you today. Appreciate all of you guys. Feel free to leave comments. Feel free to leave questions, and we'll hopefully might be able to answer your questions at least to the best of our ability. I'm Steve Morris.
I'm Kyle Morris.
Double A Joe.
Have a great day. All right, so we're off to Cordova in our first long trip since the motorhome broke down on the exact same trip.
Since the accident.
So we're on the way. We are now making it farther than what we made it in the first trip. The toter home broke down on its very first trip right there. Sitting in that lot right there, where that one of those between those red trucks. So woo-hoo,
We made it.
we made it. We've now made it at least 100 yards past where we made it before. So hopefully we're gonna keep on trucking. Alrighty, we have made it. No incidences. Was awesome. Stopped for fuel once. Stopped for food. We're here. So it's sweet. Kyle's looking like he's popping up there to see if he can get the pop-up out. And we're gonna set up right here. So if you guys are in the neighborhood at Cordova Raceway, come on over, see us. We're right here. You'll figure it out. You'll see this wagon, wood grain. Can't miss it. It's the only one here. Guaranteed it is the only one here. Unless there's some streetcar out there. That's possible. But anyways, I'm Steve Morris. Remember, like, subscribe, share, comment. We're going to come back and we'll do some answers. So we're going to have the video of the entire race event will be on Tuesday coming up. Sound good? Mm-hmm. At least our interpretation of the event. So everything that went on here, and tuning, Kyle's stuff, my stuff, probably Clarky's stuff. Sean Skipper's right over there, but on the other side of us. So quite a few of our guys are here, so that'll be cool. Anyways, have a great day.